My name is JT, and this is a story about how I built my homestead.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of JT Time. JT here. The change of scenery today is mainly because we're going to be doing a little bit different scope than we've been doing prior to this, which is caulking. I'm almost done caulking, which is nice. Hopefully we'll get done with that sooner or later, maybe 2-3 more days. But today, we hopefully will get to caulking, but what I'm actually hoping to do is do some work inside the house as well. So, nice change of scenery for you guys in general. The reason why we're doing that though is because the electrician that I have here at the city that I'm in, I'm not allowed to run electrical wire myself. The city doesn't allow it. So I need to hire a master electrician to come in and pretty much have his team wire everything in. So they've done the rough in for the house. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm really kind of doing QA, QC at the moment, which is quality assurance, quality control, engineering term, or processing manufacturing term also. But I need to make sure they've done what I wanted them to do, essentially. And for the most part, these teams roll through the house, they probably knock it out. I think this team knocked out our entire house in like maybe 2 days. It's pretty impressive what they were able to do. Like, this would take me a good week full-time, if not maybe a week and a half full-time, to get to the point where they've gotten this house to it. But again, they're reading plans and they don't always quite understand exactly what I had in mind with the plans. So I need to do a walkthrough, and I also need to install some vents that I have for the, not for the attic, but they're vents for the bathrooms, the kitchen vent, and the garage vent as well. So I'll show you those vents when we get up to the attic. So exciting, we'll be in the attic. And hopefully we can knock this out and then move to caulking again, surprise, surprise. So it's about, let's see what time it is right now. It's about 8:15 right now. I'm working here until about 3 o'clock, then doing some family time after that. So let me go ahead and get my stuff, and we'll get right going. All right, see you guys soon. Hey guys, so JT here. As I was walking to the shed and I saw a few things, I realized that because we're doing the rough in and because the inspector is going to be coming pretty soon on the house, I figure it's time to do some tidying up, and I'll show you what I mean. So this original house that was actually here before we kind of removed all the studs and put the studs back up and added the addition on it, had a few kind of outlets that we could have kept had it not been a new construction, and I'll show you what I mean. So this connection point right here, this tie-in box, is actually something from the original house, to be honest. And what this box actually used to power was, it used to power this. This was before all this was pretty much poured, the patio floor, but it used to power this box right here. I don't know what the old owner used it for. Maybe they had a fan for their greenhouse, which we'll hopefully bring back to life when my wife and I move in here. But used to power that outlet. And then next to my shed, there actually wasn't a shed back here. I built that after I picked up the house. And what used to be here though was they used to park an RV here. So there used to be a tie-in box right here, or an RV or camper. There's your tie-in box right there. And there used to be like a little outlet here as well. So if I were to call the city in for a rough-in inspection for my electrical, or if the electrician, called in an inspection and the city saw this, they would say, well, where's your not necessarily permit for this, but where was our inspection for the line, because this electrical line needs to be buried usually with some kind of conduit. It also needs to be buried a certain amount of inches underneath ground. So the minute they see this, they will stop the project. Even though we don't have a wire in it, they're gonna be like, oh, what are you guys doing? Are y'all trying to work the system? And I just don't want to deal with any of that BS. So I'm gonna disconnect all this. I'm gonna remove it all completely and abandon everything. I don't need to abandon the line underground. I'm not worried about that. But it's a shame that I can't use it, you know, because it's nice that I have this shed back here, and it would be nice if I had power to it. But for a future project, I'm worried more about getting into the house. So I'm just gonna remove this and not worry about it. It's just easier that way, you know. Less problems with the city, work with them, don't work against them. That's definitely a lesson learned that I figured out the hard way. All right, so let me go ahead and work through this. I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done. So see you guys soon. All right guys, it's about 9:03. Yeah, that didn't take me too long, but pretty much I cut it down and I used the Uber Flash liquid flash to pretty much cover this up. I'll be right back. Hi guys, so it's 9:57. Sorry about the interruption. I had to talk to my electrician because he's rolling along really quick, and typically when they come in with a big crew, so they knock things out super quick. But just continuing on with what the work that I was doing, this is another one that I just cut down. I used a little sawzall with a nice metal cutting blade to cut that off, and I capped that. And then over here is my last one, where I for these two guys, I just used a pipe cutter. They're nice. PEX pipe is what they usually use it for. I guess you could use it with PVC as well. It's maybe a little harder, but I cut this and then I capped that off right there. You know, say bye to these lines, I guess. And hopefully the city inspector doesn't give us any problems with that. I doubt they will, because usually they're only looking for general things, and you know, if they really give us some issues with that, I'll cut it down even lower and make sure it's not an issue. All right, so let me go ahead and get inside, and we're gonna start working on the installation of the inline ducts or inline vents that I pretty much purchased for the house. And when we get in there and do some of those, I'll update you on kind of my status in about an hour or so. All right, talk to you soon. All right guys, so I have a confession to tell you guys. During the last episode, I was doing a lot of caulking and everything like that, and I actually had an accident. I fell off the ladder. I was on the kind of top area of the A-frame ladder that I was working off of, and it was actually really embarrassing. Luckily I didn't injure myself or anything like that, but I didn't want to really talk about it during the video because I was still embarrassed about it. But you know what, it's a mistake, you know, things happen. I lucked out and didn't injure myself a lot. You know, fortunately the ladder caught me, and unfortunately the ladder caught me, so I just ended up with a few scratches, scuffs, and a little bit of bruising, and definitely bruising to my pride. So I'm here using my much larger A-frame ladder now, and I think the topic here is just safety. You know, you really have to be safe. I'm gonna be out here day in, day out, so I can't take very many chances of being unsafe, because you know, it only takes one time to get hurt, and you know, we're done. We're done here. So the topic today for me at least is just making sure that I'm safe, making sure that I'm not doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. I do have that smaller A-frame ladder that I do like to use because it's really light. This sucker is really heavy. He is very hard to move around, and it's really hard to do stuff quick with him, but I do use him whenever I need to get to high places, like I am today. I want to get up there to install the little 6-inch inline vent that I have. So I need a way to access that. So I need this type of ladder. But otherwise, for the other A-frame, I'll kind of paint the picture of why it even happened to begin with. Typically, it was in this area, and I thought I had pretty good kind of a level area to do it, to pretty much station the ladder at. And I set it down, and I always give it a shake and kind of press it. But I think at the time I might have had, or one of the legs might have been on a twig or a rock that was uneven or something like that. And ultimately, when I got up to the top step to kind of continue caulking right here up here, one of the legs gave out from underneath me, and the ladder went one way, and I came going down pretty much. Again, fortunately, I didn't get majorly injured or hurt from that fall. But the method that I'm going to use going forward to help with the safety of using that same A-frame ladder is I'm probably just going to have a piece of plywood that I carry around with me, especially on uneven ground. Lay that piece of plywood down and then put the ladder on top of that, and I'll show you guys an example of it kind of when I get to that point. But right now there's pretty much flat concrete here, so I'm not too worried about that. But when I get over to the front yard where it's just kind of ground and uneven terrain, I'll kind of set it up, and that's still not guaranteed either. Your best solution probably is have a buddy here with you, but you know, I don't have a partner in crime except my wife, and fortunately she's at home taking care of our daughter. So I'm lucky that I have her to take care of our daughter for us. So you know, I'm over here working by myself. But that's my soapbox, and I figured maybe you guys learned from that. And you know, I'm back at it again, and see you guys for the next update. All right guys, so it's about 12 o'clock. I'll be honest, I haven't been as productive as I could have been today. We had, or at least I had, some friends that came and visited the house, and my wife stopped by too, so I kind of socialized with them a little bit, and didn't get as much done today. But still have time, still about 3 hours left. I think a soft goal for today would be at least to finish all the installation of the vents for the house, the inline vents, and I'll show you what it looks like. I just finished installing the first one. It's right here. So this is one of the vents right here. This is a 2x6, I think, that I pretty much just installed as a place to kind of hold and support the vent. This is a 6-inch vent right here, and what this does is it's going to vent right out to the outside. You're actually in my garage at the moment, and what this will essentially do is there'll be a motion sensor inside the garage to detect any kind of movement, and anytime we pull a car into the garage, this fan will essentially turn on and pull air out of the garage. You know, we have off gassing from the car, you have the exhaust from the car, you got chemicals stored up in here as well. So this is just an opportunity to kind of clean out and flush in some fresh air into the garage. And I think my wife and I both agree that we don't want any kind of toxic chemicals in our house or anything like that. So it's an easy thing to install now when we're in new construction. So we went ahead and just installed it. So this is just kind of one of the ducts that we'll have inside the house, and I'll show you the rest as I install them as well. All right, talk to you guys soon. All right guys, so we're in the attic right now of the house, and I've finished installing all the vents. So I'll just do a quick walkthrough for you guys, and it's pretty hot, so I'm probably gonna be pretty quick with this. So pretty much we got an 8-inch inline vent for the master right here, and where this is like variable control, so I can actually reduce the amount of air movement if I want to lower the air movement, but it does top out at 800 cubic feet per minute is the air movement on it. And what it's going to do is it's going to plumb into that I guess roof vent, and then there's going to be an additional piece that is in line prior to the exit, which is more or less just a dampener to make sure that airflow can't come in from the roof. But this is going to be split into two different sides. It's going to split over one to this section and then another to the other side of the master bathroom. This is all master bath right here. Okay, so moving on, this is the roof. I'm gonna walk on this little guy right here. This is a little safer. Not much safer, but a little safer to walk on this. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. All right, now here we have two different vents. We got one vent right there, and that's another bathroom vent. That's smaller, it's only about 4 inches ID. And this one just goes straight from there to the this duct in the or vent in the roof, and then that's going to go straight down to a vent in the ceiling, or a kind of, I guess, ceiling cap. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, that's much smaller. It's like 190 CFM. This one right here is another 8-inch, so this one's just as strong as the one in the master. This one is going to be our kitchen vent. So rather than getting an actual vent hood for the kitchen, I just want an inline vent right here, and that's going to get plumbed down to the actual where the vent for the kitchen range is going to be, and we're just going to build it out. So it'll just be more or less a facade, whereas the actual engine that pulls the air out is actually right here in the attic. And the nice part about having this kind of style of vent is that you will not normally, with the cheap, I mean, high-end vents are pretty quiet anyways, but cheaper vents, they have a lot of noise to them and everything like that. So I don't like that noise. So this is a little farther down the line. So when we turn on the kitchen vent, we can still talk, which in some houses when you turn on the kitchen vent, it's going so loud you can't really even talk because it's so loud. So this is a nice way to move a lot of air without the loudness of the actual like vent hood vents, because the motor's so close to everybody. So I'm hoping this actually works out well. I've never done this before, so I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but this is just the way I came up with. But the outlet for these, I'm going to have the electrician wire like an outlet box on maybe the other side of this so that it doesn't block the actual vent from me putting like duct in. But it'll just plug into the outlet, and that outlet's going to be controlled by a switch. So the switch will turn it on or turn it off. The downside about this kind of configuration is that there's no way for me to control speed of vents. So I will have to figure out a way to possibly extend this little speed speedometer that's here inside the kitchen one. The bathroom and master and restrooms, I don't think I need to really change the speed on those. They are what they are. But the kitchen vent would be nice to be able to change the speed. In addition to that, the house is really tight. And what I mean by tight is the outside envelope is actually really sealed very well, especially with the standards that you have to meet nowadays in different building areas. So I actually have to think about makeup air. So makeup air, all that really is if I were to turn on that vent right now and actually go and try to open up doors, what's going to happen is because of the pressure that vent is actually creating in the house, the doors are going to be hard to open up and things like that because it's pulling air from inside the house and blowing it out. So makeup air helps equalize the pressure in the house so that you don't get those hard to open doors, and this works better at the end of the day, because if your house is really, really tight, it has to pull that air from somewhere. Otherwise, it's just going to turn on and no air is going to move at all. So you have to consider that kind of stuff. So that's going to be tied in with the AC somehow. I don't know how yet. I'll figure that out once we get mechanical team up in here to do that. But that one and possibly the master vent is going to be tied together. So this is where I'm at. Let me see what time it is, and I'll figure out whether this is the end of the episode or if we're going to move on to caulking. But I'm done with working on inside the house, and it's pretty hot, not gonna lie. All right, guys, so it's about 1:20 right now, or 1:30. I'm gonna go ahead and pack everything up and get ready to go caulk on the front, I guess, part of our house. So let me go ahead and pack everything up, and I'll meet you out front. All right, guys, it's about 3 o'clock. It's about that time for me to head on out of here. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I finished, and then we'll sign out. So I finished caulking here, did around the window, did above it too, because it was too much of a gap up there above it. So did caulking here, on this side as well, and then I kind of finished off this little side right here. That was pretty much it. Not as much as I definitely wanted to go and finish today, but it's okay. I mean, you kind of have unexpected moments, and it was fun kind of catching up with our friends anyways. So I'm done for the day. So I'll see you guys next time, and see y'all real soon here on JT Time.